WiTCH, putting the K in magic. I'm Joanna DeVoe, and you're watching another episode of Every Which Way. This time featuring Vicky Brearley, aka Vix of the kick-ass style blog WiTCH Vixen. And I am just in total girly heaven right now. I have such a huge girl crush on Vix. She is so much fun, such a cool, funky, free-spirited woman, and I thought it'd be really different and fun to interview her because I usually talk to people about spirituality or psychology or health, and she is a style maven, but it extends beyond the way she looks and into the way she lives her life. And I really think that you are going to find her just as inspirational as I do. She is truly living the kick-ass life of her dreams, of her own creation, and I think she's absolutely magical. So here she is, Vix. Hi Vix, welcome to Every Which Way.
Hi Joanna, lovely to meet you.
It's great to meet you. It's awesome to see you in motion because your blog, WiTCH Vixen, is all photos of you. So you're just as beautiful in motion as you are on a still shot.
You're too kind.
And I've been so excited about this interview. I usually talk to people about how to create the kick-ass life of your dreams using like psychology and magic. But I think you are magic. You are so cool. You've created this whole world of your own that you live in and share with us, down from the way you dress to the way you live. Is that intentional? Have you always been this way? Where did this start for you?
I've always been the same. It's never been intentional. It's just something. I mean, I used to have a very tough job, and I used to be two people, corporate lifestyle. And then when I gave up the corporate job, I became me 24 hours a day.
So, what was your corporate job? Just out of curiosity.
I was a hospitality manager for the Bank of England and a massive insurance company, and I used to look after the fine dining needs of about 2,000 people.
Wow.
MPs, royalty. It was just like 95 hours a week. Never switching off. Phone calls in the night to say the freezers had broken down. It was just full on, and it aged me, and it was terrible.
I think you look pretty great. I wouldn't say it aged you. You're such a free spirit, and he's not your husband, but your mate of 20 years, John.
Yeah, my partner, John. Yeah.
Yes. You two kind of live this rock and roll lifestyle of, I don't know, you both dress in these really cool, funky outfits, but you also, it's not just about the exterior. I know you go to a lot of festivals, and you're really into rock and roll, and you travel to India a lot. And you say you do that on a budget. Like, how do you pull off this really free-spirited, beautiful life on a budget?
It is about making compromises and choices. It's completely giving up that kind of buying new clothes and looking at magazines and thinking, oh, that lipstick looks really good, or my shoes are out of fashion. You just have to give up that. And I carry a picture in my purse of us on a beach, and every time I'm tempted, I'll look at it and I think, do I want to spend £20 on a pair of shoes, or do I want £20 to go towards my flight? And it's as simple as that. It's reminding yourself all the time. It's owning something or having a fantastic life and life wins.
That's amazing. That is such great advice. I could just end this interview right now. And you haven't given up the shopping. I mean, that's so much about what your blog is about. You are a sleuth at finding really cool 70s usually is most of what you buy from the 70s.
Late 60s, early 70s, yeah, that sort of psychedelic era.
Yeah, what do you describe yourself? I wrote this down. You said a Woodstock refugee meets Rolling Stones groupie with a bit of vintage Bollywood thrown in. That is you. I think there's a little bit of Cher in there, too.
Yeah, I love Cher. She's my idol.
Well, I can see that. It really comes out. I mean, you're your own unique person for sure, but the long hair and One of my favorite pictures of you I have up on my Pinterest board. It's you in like a bikini. I don't know, it's got to be one of your vacations that you're on somewhere, but I was just like, this is like the coolest woman on the planet. And when I was kind of into your blog, but once I got to that post, I was like, I love her. I will not miss any posts.
I got a lot of stick for putting that bikini picture on my blog.
What?
You know, well, a lot of, you know, my life's my life, and I don't keep my blog secret. A lot of people in the town I live in, know me and know my blog. And it's like, how could you do something like that? But you wear a bikini on a public beach, don't you? So what's the problem?
And you look amazing, so, you know, it's inspiring. So you have like a little, people know who you are. I'm assuming they do. I mean, you kind of wander around like this psychedelic, groovy Dita Von Teese character. I mean, I know she has a totally different style, but in that every day is like another chance to dress up. You are like that.
Yeah, we live in a really like working class industrial town in the Midlands. It's very multicultural. It's very drab, but nobody bats an eyelid. You know, you've got ladies who walk around in saris, and you've got Africans, and there's me, and you know, it's bright colours, and because I've always dressed like this, I don't notice whether anyone's looking at me because I feel comfortable in my own skin. I think some people talk about having the side eye and people looking them down, but I think that's just because they're uncomfortable in what they're wearing. I don't look for a reaction. I just put on what I want to and go out, and that's it.
I'm pretty sure they're looking. It's exciting because it's like, I think we all wish that we could be that brave. And I definitely wear some funky clothes and like to dress up, but you just take it to a whole other level. You were doing a photo shoot or something, and you were wearing like this green, I don't even know what that was, a very fancy dress, and then you had like a leopard coat on, the breakfast at Tiffany's hair, and then I guess your photo shoot got postponed, so you decided to go grocery shopping in your outfit.
Well, yeah, it's a shame to waste a good outfit, isn't it?
I was like, I love her. Like, how fun would that be to be like doing the grocery shopping, and then all of a sudden you come across Vix in her
6-inch platform.
Yes.
But when I was growing up, you know Boy George, you know, the eccentric guy. He lived in a squat in Warsaw, my hometown, when I was 11, 12. And he used to walk around the town dressed as a spaceman or dressed as a Regency gentleman with ruffs and backcombed hair. And he was really my idol. I used to look at him and think, wow.
Whoa. Well, I mean, you do dress really eccentrically and fun, but you always look feminine and like a woman that could be a part of any era. I mean, I think you're still just a beautiful woman regardless. I mean, you're not too out there. You're not walking around in a spacesuit or anything.
Yeah, I think there is a danger of going too far, isn't there, and looking fancy dressed, trying too hard.
I don't know if you can go too far, but I would say you have not. It's really beautiful and feminine and fun. It's giving me the itch to go shopping. Do you have a good shopping tip for finding? First of all, the first question that comes to mind, or the first word, is polyester. Like, how do you buy these garments and avoid, like, stains or other people's stink? Like, I've bought vintage things before and brought them home, and then on a hot day, all of a sudden you, like, smell someone else's, like, 30-year-old body odor, like, coming out of the outfit.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to... It's just taking a risk, isn't it? I mean, the things I buy, it's not everyone's thing, so they're always cheap anyway. And if you wash them and they're still a bit stinky, I just cut them up and make them into patchwork or turn them into something else. I'm just always attracted to amazing prints and that's it. I don't look at sizes or anything. It's just I follow my heart. If my heart says I have to have it, that's it.
And
there's no logic.
You take your like artsy, crafty creativeness into your home too. You don't just wear it. So maybe that's where some of that ends up. I saw your wallpapered staircase, which is so cool. I highly recommend people go digging for that because it's really neat. And then you just make things like lampshades and chair cushions.
Yeah, the home things always used to come first because in my corporate past, I used to have to wear a very formal uniform for work, you know, a sort of morning suit, bow tie, white blouse, hair tied back. So going home and painting the walls wild colours and doing wild patchwork and things, that was my release from my day job. And then when I started working for myself, I could dress in the same way as I furnished the house.
Is John kind of your partner in crime, like with the, you know, DIY projects and all of that?
Yeah, he's really creative. He's a creative soul. I mean, a lot of the time I'll come up with an idea and he's the practical one. I'll tell him what I want and he'll go away and do it. I'm not so good at executing things. I can wake up with a wild idea and tell him and he'll go and translate it into practicality.
No, is he your photographer usually too? Because I know someone else is taking the pictures.
Yeah, he's my photographer. He's the official blog photographer.
Aww. I think that comes across too on your blog, and that's another reason that I wanted to talk to you and why I think you have really created this magical life for yourself. Is the blog is a little bit of a love story, a beautiful love story, a 20-year love story. It is. It's so sweet, and to see you guys, you know, on the beach together, or you're going to another festival. You answered someone's quiz once or something about how you met. Is that true that you met in a biker bar playing pool with Hell's Angels?
Yeah. Yeah, I was playing pool with some bikers, and there was a guy standing behind me, and they were talking about who sung a certain pop song that had been in the charts a few years ago, and I just turned around and told him because I've got a brain for trivia, and he was really impressed.
What were you wearing? You must have been insane looking when you were like 20. Is that when you guys met? Because you are a gorgeous woman.
26. 26.
Wow.
Yeah, it was hot pants, sparkly Lurex tights.
No wonder he stuck around so long.
Because that early part of the 90s, there was quite a 70s revival then in the UK. So there was a lot of repro clothes. So it was a great time for me. I could find you didn't so much have to go buying secondhand. You could actually find new stuff as well. Nice.
And you're kind of a rock and roll woman. You're into that world too. Is that what you guys? I know he was a musician, or he is a musician.
Yeah.
So you bonded over that a little. What does he play?
He plays guitar.
Nice. Does he sing for you?
No. He waits till I'm in bed and you can hear him downstairs.
I saw you guys make each other homemade Valentines. That's just so romantic. Is this real? I mean, are you guys really this flirty and keeping the love alive after all this time?
Oh, I don't know whether we're flirty, but we always do sort of things like that. You know, I would never go and buy a card from a shop or anything like that. It's always putting thought into things. We don't have a lot of money to do these grand gestures, but it's just things like that, locking ourselves away and say, don't come in this room for an hour, I'm busy.
You're both pretty creative. Do you have any tips for the rest of us? Like, did you just luck out in finding your guy, or is there, a trick to keeping love alive for 20 years?
I don't know. It is all about having someone you've got loads in common with. I think we're only a few weeks in age different from each other, so we've grown up with the same kind of music and films and books. So we've got that. We've got a lot of common interests. Mm-hmm. And it's the friendship's far more important than anything else, isn't it? Yes. Liking the same music and same bands and wanting to go and see the same films at the cinema and sharing books and.
Definitely. What is the India fascination? I know you've been to India a bunch of times and you say that that's one of your passions. Where does that come from?
When we first met, we started talking about travel, and we both said the two places we really wanted to go in the world were Morocco and India. And we sort of went to Morocco within a year of meeting one another, and then saved up to go to India in 2000, and it was just mind-blowing. It was just, this is it. If we don't go, if I die in a plane crash on the way home, I know I've been to India now. But it's just never got out of my system, and we've been going back twice a year since 2000, so over 20 times, and every day you just see something incredible that blows your mind, and nothing's ever ordinary. you can just sit there and just something will happen. And one of my friends who's been described it as India will slap you in the face and then take you out for dinner, because sometimes you'll have a really bad day and everyone seems to be wanting money off you, and you're followed around by beggars and you're seeing poor mangy dogs and cats and you feel really bad, and then suddenly something wonderful will happen and some stranger will invite you into their home for a cup of tea, or you'll just be shown some kindness, and it's just amazing. And I just go on about it to people for hours.
Do you eat the food? Are you a fan of the Indian food?
Yeah, I'm a vegetarian, and living in the area we have a lot of Asian, so I've grown up with Indian food anyway. But the food's just, it's nothing like British Indian food. It's a lot less rich. There's not all the butter and everything in it. It's spicy and tasty, and there's fantastic vegetables.
That is so cool. I just love your passion for anything that you're into. It's really infectious. I mean, I relate to a lot of the things that you like, but the way that you talk about them is just so fun. And it's just like going to your blog, really. I highly recommend people go check it out, because it's, like I said, it's its own little world that you've created. And you have an eBay store as well?
I was selling on eBay, and I've sold on eBay for about 12 years. Mm-hmm. But at the end of last year, I started doing vintage fairs, selling, having a market stall and selling to people there. And I just love it so much more, because you sort of can talk to people and you can see how fantastic they're going to look in the clothes, and you can encourage people, and it's just brilliant interaction, and you just feel like you're reuniting people with the clothes that were destined for them.
Oh, that's a great way of putting it. It kind of combines your love of going to festivals with your love of vintage clothes too, and that your customers must love you. I mean, that I'd be like, I have to buy something from this woman. I've just met some incredible people. They're just, and you sort of have them in mind when you're out looking for things, thinking, oh God, she'll love that, and he'll look really good in that, and they'll always come back and buy more, and it's lovely. But it's just fun. You've introduced me, just because of the sidebar on your blog, to a lot of people with some really great style. I really like Pull Up Your Socks, I think is her name.
Oh, Desiree's fantastic, yeah.
You seem to be so friendly with this whole world. There's like a community of people who dress in this really outlandish but fun, beautiful way, and you all seem to have found each other.
Yeah, it's our little tribe. We're not cliquing, anyone can join, but it's just... I've just met some incredible people. I'm not saying I haven't got friends in real life, but you sometimes meet more people with more common interests through the internet than you do in real life, and it's almost like we're all destined to become friends together. And we speak on Skype, and we have days where the English girls will all get together and we'll go shopping and go to the pub and drink cocktails, and it's just fantastic. My friend Krista, Petey's Palace. She's from Oregon, and she and her husband came and stayed with us last year. We just had the best time ever. We went mountaineering in bright pink mini dresses.
Wow, that is so... I relate to the tribal thing, because I've definitely found my tribe online. In my real life, I definitely always kind of felt like the oddball, especially in my family. But online, you can get very specific about who you are and meet other people who, are part of your tribe that way. It's great that you're taking it offline, though, and hanging out with each other in person.
Yeah, and for someone of my, someone in their 40s, so the computer wasn't even around when I was younger, you always think that people who met through the internet were a bit odd and a bit geeky, but they're not.
Or scary,
Yeah.
Well, Skype is such a great tool, because you get the chance to talk to them and face to face and get a sense of their personality.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's difficult speaking to my friends in Australia and New Zealand, because they're ready for bed, and I've just got up in the morning. But it's great when it all comes together.
Yeah, it's night where you are. Thank you for talking to me this morning.
Oh, it's quite early. It's only sort of just before 7 p.m. in the evening, so it's okay.
Nice. What part of... Are you near London somewhere?
No, we're about 200 miles from London. My nearest big city is Birmingham.
Okay. My mom just moved to Southall, So I know there's a lot of Indian culture there. So
there is,
I'll have
it's
to
a
show her
well-known
this.
Asian place.
Cool.
Is your mom English then?
No, she's a missionary, and they move around a lot, so that's where they are for the next couple of years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Have you ever worked as a stylist?
No.
Changing the subject?
No, haven't.
You would be an amazing stylist. I swear, the movies are like, Vix, please help us. We need you.
I'm available if anyone wants me.
Oh, that would be fabulous. Yeah, just selfishly, I want you to come here. I live in LA. Maybe if I find you a job.
Yeah, I'll come. Well, we're hoping to get to America. It's been a long time since I was in the States. I've only ever been for a long weekend, and that was to Boston. But John spent quite a while touring the States in the olden days when he was in the band. But we'd love to come back and see all my friends.
Wow, so he was in a pretty big band. He got to tour America?
Yeah, they were
amazing.
big in the States. They were called the Charlatans UK in the States.
Okay, I don't know them, but I will look them up, definitely. What kind of music was it?
It's well, the band is still going now, but he's not with them anymore. Just sort of indie rock music.
I love rock and roll.
Yeah, me too.
Have you always traveled, or is this just something that you guys picked up getting with John?
Well, when I was younger, my dad worked abroad, so he never thought that going abroad when we were children was a holiday. So we always holidayed in the UK, and I was 21 before I left England because I had to save up and pay for it myself. And then after that, I was hooked. My first trip was Barcelona. And that was it. It was amazing. I remember standing at the harbour and just crying and thinking, I've missed this for 21 years. Why didn't I go sooner? And that was it. Ever since I was 21, I've always gone and left abroad at least once a year. It's just fantastic. I can just look at travel websites and read books set in foreign countries, and it just whets my appetite, and I just want more.
That must be where you pull a lot of your inspiration from with the different looks you put together.
Yeah, it's like shopping on foreign markets, isn't it? And looking at people's national costume. Although it's changing a lot. I mean, in the old days you'd go and each country had its own distinct way of dress. But now with the internet, you know, anyone can buy Topshop online and dress in the same kind of clothes, can't they? And it's becoming very homogenous now. Even India's, the sort of richer places like Mumbai, I mean, they're all into the fashion and the Jeffrey Campbell shoes and the it bags and everything. So
I think that's why a person like you is like such a treasure for our time, though, because you really you're doing your own thing, but you really I don't know, you just kind of represent this era to me that I never really knew or was a part of. But that I like to think existed, this magical rock and roll, hippie world. Why that era? Where did your interest come? Because you pretty consistently represent that, late 60s, early 70s time.
I'm not sure, really. I mean, I was born in 1966, so I would have seen very little of it. But my mum was a real sort of fashion chick and into all the sort of flamboyant clothes and everything. So I always grew up and looked at her as the epitome of glamour and style. And I think that was it. Maybe I just wanted to be her. Yeah.
Well, we all turn into our moms in the end, I think. A good thing you had a stylish mom.
Although when she got older, she used to be horrified with, why are you wearing 70s clothes? You know, it's so old-fashioned. We've done it all before. Get something modern.
I think it is modern. Like you were saying about the homogenization of everything, there is a big movement of people, whether they are growing their own food or building their house by home or creating these signature styles for themselves. I think that is modern because a creative person, a person who's a little free-spirited or wants to be independent is going to rebel against that homogenization.
Yeah, it is. It is very depressing, isn't it? Yeah. Even when we go to music festivals and you always imagine they're going to be really wild and free, you've still got hundreds and hundreds of people dressed in that mainstream style. It's always the same hairstyle and the same print of dress, and it is a bit kind of, oh, come on, you know, a festival's supposed to represent freedom, isn't it? But
yes.
People don't always see that. They want to all stick together and look the same and be recognised, don't they?
I feel that way about rock and roll. In LA, I mean, we have so many bands here. I hear the number somewhere around 10,000 bands, and every night you can see music, which I think is amazing. I'm in a band myself, but when I go out to see rock and roll, I want to dance, I want to jump up and down, I want to cheer, and people are just they just stand there.
I know. Or with their phones. Recording.
That
drives me mad.
They want to be cool, or yes, they want to like see it through their camera instead of like actually being a part of the experience. Yeah.
That drives me insane. You know, it's almost like they're only doing it to show other people how cool they are. They're not actually taking it in. It's the same with travel though, because we can go to some fantastically remote part of India. And you're there and you're staying with the people and you're eating the food. And then you've got a group of people with the Lonely Planets and they're all there with the laptops going on Facebook and telling people what a great time they're having. But they're not actually doing anything. They could be doing that at home, couldn't they?
Yeah. I think reason why you're inspiring is you are living the dream. You are not just representing it. I mean, there's quite a few style blogs to choose from nowadays to visit, but yours has like a certain spirit and a life to it that feels authentic. Like, hey, there's a real woman here and she's living this life. She's not like in her sweats with a bun on her head and then getting dressed up to take a picture.
Yeah, quick lipstick.
Now I will put on Vicks. It was so fun getting to talk to you. I'm really glad that I reached out because it was a great conversation, so inspiring. But before I let you go, can you leave us with one tip for creating the kick-ass life of your dreams, whatever that might be for you, if it's not fashion or style?
Just live each day as if it's your last. That's it.
That's an excellent tip. Thanks, Vix.
Thanks, Joanne. Lovely to speak to you.
Yes, much love. Peace.
Bye.